Is poker gambling? That's the question I've been asked more than any other. Friends, family, random people at dinner parties, even people who play poker themselves argue about it all the time. After 20 years at the tables, both casually and professionally, I've heard every take you can imagine. I've talked a lot about this with my buddy Chris. He's a pro too, with a long history in Vegas casinos. You would think we'd agree on this by now, but we don't. We completely disagree on whether poker is actually gambling. For Chris, and honestly for most people, it's a black and white issue. If money's at risk and the outcome's uncertain, it's gambling. End of story. And hey, I get that. That's the textbook definition, but I've always felt like it's not that simple. It took me years to finally explain why I feel that way. And in this video, I want to walk you through it. The real reason I think the answer isn't yes or no. It depends. Let me show you what I mean. Most people define gambling in a real straightforward way. If you're risking money on something with an uncertain outcome, it's gambling. And by that logic, poker fits perfectly. You're putting up money and you don't know what's going to happen. But here's where I think we go wrong. Because if that's the standard, then nearly everything in life is gambling. Think about it. Starting a business, gambling. Taking a new job, gambling. Moving to a new city, marrying someone, even walking across a busy street. Every one of these decisions involves risk and an outcome you can't fully control. There's always some element of chance, no matter how well you prepare. And that's the core of it. Every meaningful action in life involves a wager of some kind. Sometimes you're wagering time, sometimes it's money, but you're always placing a bet on a future you can't guarantee. So if we define gambling as any risk-based wager with uncertain results, then yeah, everything is gambling. But that's not really useful. The better question is how much of the outcome is left to chance, and how much can you actually control? That's where the real distinction lies, not in whether there is risk, but in how much control you have over the outcome. In other words, what's your edge? See, the presence of luck doesn't make something gambling. It's the degree to which you're relying on luck versus skill. Every situation has some uncertainty. The question is, how much of that uncertainty can you reduce through knowledge, experience, or preparation? If you have no edge, you're just guessing, hoping. You're gambling. But if you put in the work, develop the skill, and understand the variables better than the most, then you're not gambling, you're executing. And that difference is everything. Let me give you an example. Picture a busy street, cars flying by. Now imagine you bet $100 that you could cross it safely. If you're an adult, you've done this hundreds of times. You know how to look both ways, judge the speed of traffic, pick the right moment. You've got experience. You've got awareness. You've got control. That's not much of gamble for you. It's just crossing the street. Now take that same street, same conditions, and put a toddler there, 2 years old. No experience, no understanding of danger. Would I make that same bet now? That's a massive gamble. Why? Because the toddler has no edge. They're relying completely on luck to survive that crossing. So what changed? Not the street, not the cars, just the person making the attempt and their level of skill, their edge. Now let's bring that back to poker. If you're sitting across from legends like Phil Ivey, Daniel Negreanu, and the late Doyle Brunson, some of the best to ever play the game, and you're not at their level, you're gambling. It doesn't matter how much you know. If your edge is gone, you're just hoping to get lucky. But if you're at your local card room playing against recreational players who consistently make big mistakes, and you've studied the game, built your bankroll, and you know how to manage risk, you have the real edge. You're not gambling anymore. You're executing a skill. The context changes everything. Who you're playing, how prepared you are, and how disciplined your approach is. That's what determines whether poker is gambling or strategy. When we all started playing poker, let's be honest, it was pure gamble. We knew the rules, maybe, but not the strategy. We didn't understand ranges, position, or how to manage a bankroll. We were guessing, throwing chips into the pot, hoping for the best. But that's how everyone begins. The real goal, whether you're playing professionally or just love the game, is to move out of that guessing phase, to turn luck into leverage. And the only way to do that is through study, repetition, and experience. Over time, with enough practice, you stop hoping for good outcomes and start creating them. That's the journey from gambler to strategist. But here's the hard truth: getting good at poker isn't easy. It's a game built on incomplete information. You never see your opponent's cards. You never get full clarity, even with all the modern tools, books, training videos, solvers, GTO theory. There is no step by step manual that works in every situation. And that's what makes it so tough. Poker isn't like chess where everything is visible. It's messy, dynamic, filled with nuance. You can study all you want, but unless you're applying what you've learned in real situations against real players, it's all just theory. And poker punishes bad theory fast. So, how do you actually get better without going broke in the process? You need feedback, real, honest, immediate feedback, because that's how you close the gap between what you think you know and what actually works. But in poker, getting that feedback usually costs money. Every mistake is a lesson, and every lesson has a price tag. The challenge is finding a way to test your skills in a controlled environment where you can make decisions, see the outcomes, and learn from them without risking your bankroll every time. And that's not easy in a game where money has to be on the line to simulate real pressure. That's why tools like Advanced Poker Academy are so valuable. It gives you a way to practice against simulated opponents who play in variety of styles, from wild amateurs to tight disciplined pros. And because they're programmed with specific tendencies, you can actually study how your strategies hold up in different scenarios. It's not about crushing fake money games. Those don't teach you anything because there's no real pressure. But in this environment, you're making real decisions with realistic consequences. You get to test your edge without burning through your savings. It's not perfect, but it's a powerful way to build your skills safely. But knowing where you're weak is only half the battle. Once you identify your leaks, those spots where you're consistently losing money, the next question is, how do you fix them? Some mistakes are obvious, others not so much. And then there's a whole category of errors you don't even realize you're making. It's like that old saying, there are things you know, there are things you don't know, and things you don't know you don't even know. That last group, that's where the real danger lies because you can't control what you're not even aware of. And bridging that gap is one of the hardest part of learning poker. The best way to close the gap is with a coach or a mentor, someone who's better than you, who can spot your blind spots and help you grow. But let's be real, good coaches are hard to find and even harder to afford. Even if you could find one, how do you know they're the right fit? Do they understand your learning style? Can they actually teach, not just play? Are they willing to help you evolve your game without forcing you to copy their styles? That's a tough combination to find. And even when you do, there's another problem: trust. If your mentor is someone you also compete against at the table, it can get messy. Advice turns into strategy hiding. The dynamic changes. That's why I built my own solution, an AI poker coach trained on hundreds of thousands of live hands using strategies I've studied and used myself. It's not perfect. No AI is, but it's consistent, available 24/7, and tailored to help you improve. And best of all, it's absolutely free. When you combine that kind of feedback with realistic practice tools like Advanced Poker Academy, you create a powerful loop. You study, you test, you get feedback, you improve faster, safer, and with more clarity than ever before. So is poker gambling? If you're relying on luck, if you're just winging it at the table without skill or preparation, yeah, you're gambling. But if you've built an edge, if you've put in the work, studied the game, practiced with intention, and you're playing against opponents you understand, then no, you're not gambling, you're executing. The truth is, poker sits on a spectrum. It can be pure chance or it can be pure strategy. It all depends on you. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think? Is poker gambling or is it something more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you see it. And if you want to try my advanced poker coaching, Vinton Poker Coaching AI, built just for live cash games, the link is right in the description. It's absolutely free, no limits. Go for it, try it, share it with someone who would benefit from it, spread the word. I want you to improve your game in best way possible. And if you want to combine that with advanced poker training, it is a paid subscription. They do offer a limited free subscription. Give it a try. It's a killer combination where you can test your skills and get live advice and combine them to close the feedback loop to take your game from zero to hero in limited amount of time with zero risk. Give it a try. Let me know what you think and think about it. Is poker really gambling?